Okay, so I spent a year doing the Cast from the Darkness, which was a Game of Thrones podcast.
Yeah.
And so every time I did it, it was welcome back, mates, watching to the Cast in the Darkness. But I don't know what to say for
stim hackers and something to do with evil corporations. It'd be like stim hackers and clone. No, what? I don't know.
Bioroids.
And bioroids, yeah. Could be stim hackers and bioroids.
Stim hackers and bioroids. Welcome to tags.
NGN. Tag me.
NGN's Tag Me
video podcast.
Video podcast.
Vlog.
Vlog.
Is this a vlog?
Are we vlogging?
Are we vlogging right now? Don't vlog me. I thought vlogging was something I do late at night when the lights are off.
I think that's vlogging. We're here to talk about Up and Over? Yeah, Up and Over.
We should maybe
open up our chapter packs? Not chapter packs. What are they? Data packs.
We're going to have to restart that.
No! Just go with it.
Just go with it.
Just go with it. Yeah, we're going to open up our data packs. So I've got a knife here, and I'm going to...
You call that a knife? This is a knife. I'm going to separate Corp and Runner, and
yes.
we're gonna do those ones later. I'm just going to throw those over here.
Yeah, you can most of them just throw them away.
We don't need those. We are all about the corporation here.
I am. I know that's for sure. That's for true.
Runners are just evil, and they just want to access our servers and data, and we don't want that to happen. So as a good corp, we have to do things like blow up their houses, and generally kill things, and maim, and butcher, and make sure you trace them, find out where they are, and just do what you can to keep them out of our important and good information. Okay,
so we are going to count down the cards in this pack.
Count down.
From how our metagame feels are the worst cards to the best. Yes. So there are 12 Corp cards in this pack, and we have rated our cards on a scale of 1 to 7, with 7 being AstroScript pilot program.
Yeah.
And 1 being Worm. The number 1 worst card in this pack, with a score of 2.2 out of 7.
That's like a perfect shuffle. 3 cards win everywhere.
We have...
How did I manage that?
Docklands Crack... We're just going to ignore Alex for the time being. We have Docklands Crackdown.
Docklands Crackdown. Let me read this out for you. 2 clicks. That's a click. Place 1 power counter on Docklands Crackdown. The install cost of the first card the runner installs each turn is increased by 1 for each power counter on Docklands Crackdown. It is a cost 2 to res and 3 to trash.
Okay, so the 2 to res, 3 to trash is not terrible. However, the runner's never going to want to trash this. It's 3 clicks and 2 credits to tax the runner 1.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
It deserves its 2.2, I feel.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that if there's... somewhere down the line, we're going to be able to move those power counters around. Yeah, that's totally a viable card. Never. Yeah.
Okay, so you're definitely going to play this card.
Yeah, this is never going to go in any one of my decks that I currently have.
But it's hypothetically maybe good.
It could be good.
Perfect.
Someday.
Card number 11.
11.
In our countdown to 1, the best card.
That's right. Okay.
Is a Wayland operation.
Yeah.
It costs 0 and 2 clicks.
This is awesome. I love it.
Trash any number of cards from HQ. Gain 2 for each card trashed. What is this card? It sounds so great. It's Reuse.
Reuse.
That doesn't even make sense. The name of the card.
It's a double too.
Reuse.
So that's additional cost. Spend that click. Yeah. So you're spending 2. Trash any number of cards from HQ. Gain a couple credits.
Reuse is a name that should be put on a card that spend credits, put cards back into HQ.
Yeah, let's take some cards that we've used and use them again.
Yes,
use them again.
This is unused.
So if we were to look up the definition of reuse.
This card got a 2.4 out of 7.
Use again or more than once.
This is to use fewer than 1 times.
This is don't use the card ever. Get paid to not use your cards. I like it.
You like it less than most of our group.
But I think I like it more than you.
Everybody likes this card more than me.
I should actually see what I did rate this as.
You rated this card as a 2 out of 7.
That seems appropriate.
I mean, it's a card that's marginally useful in a deck that's looking for that ability.
That's right. So, in a deck like Cerebral Imaging,
Sure.
you know, you've got a ridiculous number of cards for absolutely no reason.
Absolutely true.
Which is why Cerebral Imaging doesn't work anymore.
Yes, because it doesn't have a reason for existing.
Precisely.
Yeah. So
it gets a 2.
the 10th card on our list, this is a controversial choice, I think, because a lot of people like this card.
Okay.
It's called Labyrinthine Servers.
Oh, this is a card that could be really great, but it isn't. Alright, why don't I tell you what this is?
Perfect, yes, please do.
Labyrinthine Servers is a 5/3 agenda. Type security. Place 2 power counters on Labyrinthine Servers when you score it. Host a power counter, prevent the runner from jacking out. The runner cannot jack out for the remainder of this run. This could be hinting at a Glacier Jinteki option,
though.
but I really don't think it's going to help.
A Glacier Jinteki option is fine. Tenon is a perfectly reasonable option.
Yes.
However, Tenon still wouldn't run this.
No.
Because Tenon isn't a murder deck.
To be the devil's advocate here, you could combo a wall, a nice big Glacier combo deck. So you've got like an HB brain damage, which is going to have big, like your Heimdalls and your Janices, which is generally big ice, but damaging.
High influence, sure.
But I mean, not for Jinteki. I'm saying like this is a
if this were a neutral agenda.
Well, I'm not saying put this. I'm not saying that obviously this doesn't go anywhere but Jinteki because it's an agenda. But I'm saying that not put this in front of a Heimdall, but like that's an example of a deck that does both damage and is a Glacier style kind of size, right? So this kind of hints at like maybe the ability to do damage and Glacier decks someday.
Like hybridizing.
Like hybridize that. Same as like how HB can do that. Maybe down the road we might be able to see that at this point in the game. So it gets a 2 from me and 1 from pretty much everybody else.
Our next card is, we're continuing with the Jinteki theme. We have Ashigaru, which is a 9-res barrier with 4 strength.
I think the problem I had was that it was a 4 strength instead of a 5. If this was a 5 strength, I would love it.
My issue for this card is that it costs 9 and doesn't win you the game. Jinteki are the poor corp.
Yeah, you already don't have any money. Like I said, if this was a 5 strength barrier, because it should be a better version of Wall of Thorns, which really isn't necessarily. It is kind of.
It doesn't have any nasty words.
It doesn't have any bad words.
No bad words.
No bad words.
If you're playing Jinteki, you're playing Jinteki for the bad words.
Yeah, you need some attack in there. You need some stabbing. Yeah, I guess it kind of gives you a good reason to run Morningstar.
Morningstar.
Yeah.
Which I think has already started being run because of one of the runner decks that I throw on the floor, or runner cards that I throw on the floor.
Yeah, could be. Which we will talk about in a later video.
Ashigaru.
Maybe.
I rated it a 3, which is, a little under average. I think it's playable in the right deck because of the potential for legitimate Glacier Jinteki decks moving forward. Suzy.
Yep.
Suzanuo no Mikono.
See, now you're talking about a Jinteki Glacier deck.
No, Tenon is a legitimate option. I've always believed Tenon could be played.
Yeah.
It just needed more stopping power.
Yep, it does need more stopping power. This helps.
This does help.
Yep.
Tenon will have a full grip of cards.
The only thing that Tenon would need there is that it would need to be able to convert those advancement tokens to credits. So if you splash in Great Refinery or the Bioroid Thomas Haas,
yes,
you can splash those in and
get money in
it, and then you can play something like this.
Absolutely.
Don't steal that idea. That came here
Dibs.
First. Yeah, no.
So we have Changeling next.
Changeling is next. I hate this card. So Changeling is a 5-cost, 4-strength barrier morph. Changeling can be advanced. While Changeling has an odd number of advancement tokens on it, it gains Sentry, loses barrier. 1, end the run subroutine.
Okay, so I was building a Wayland deck this week using some of these new cards. Wayland has a plethora of barriers.
You know what's hilarious? I have that card in my deck.
You're wrong, sir.
And I hate this card.
Wayland also has
I don't know why I hate this card.
among the most powerful sentries as it is.
Yes, yeah, Archer.
Archer and the Trace one, the gain 3 credits and the run.
Caduceus.
Caduceus,
Yeah.
yes. Why would you ever want this card?
Well, that's right. I mean, you're never going to advance it.
Single subroutine.
Yeah.
And it's just a 4-strength barrier.
Yeah, because you're not going to ever advance that.
Why wouldn't you just play Hive then if you're playing a 5-strength or a 5 res cost barrier?
That's right.
The next worst card
Yes.
is a 1-cost Hasbioroid operation.
Oh yes, I love this one.
This card is called Peak Efficiency, and it states gain 1 credit for each rezzed piece of ice. There are decks.
1.
There are deck that rezzes a large amount of ice over the course of the game and would also have room for a really shitty economy card.
I gave this a 4.
Yes, you gave this a 4.
And I think that was specifically because of Next Ice.
Sure.
It was because I watched that game between you and Travis Travis never rezzed any ice. And that's all he was supposed to do.
Yes.
All you're supposed to do is
Res ice.
And
And
this-
the reason why he never rezzed ice was because he was always poor.
Right. But, yeah, so you need
He
to
was
have money
fighting
first.
for money.
This,
But he always had enough money to res the ice, but then he wouldn't have had
That's
enough
right.
money to do anything.
That's right. And that's perfectly fine because the whole point of that is just to res a little bit of ice and then win late game. Mid to late game.
Yeah. That
In case
video.
you're wondering, we're talking about the Foundry.
Yes.
And yeah, Next Ice needs to be rezzed in order for it to work.
Most ice needs to be rezzed before it starts to work.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah. More than one Next Ice needs to be rezzed.
Before it becomes efficient. Yes, okay.
Or effective.
Now, in that deck, peak efficiency would have been pretty good. He would have been able to res ice and then get that money back.
Yes, because
Pretty
it's
quickly.
only a 1 cost where he, hedge funds, you need to have the 5 credits.
Right.
Right, things of that sort. So this could replace a hedge fund.
It's the same reason why I run, in my runner decks, Lucky Find over hedge fund.
That's right. Or Sure Gamble.
Or, no, I definitely run it over hedge fund.
Yeah.
I'm still on
I'm pretty sure I would run any card over hedge fund in my runner deck.
You don't want to be DQ'd.
Because so yeah, I think overall, what did everybody in our meta rate this total average?
Peak efficiency is a 3.6, which is actually tied with the next card.
Okay.
I just arbitrarily put the next card above it.
Arbitrarily, okay.
Because I
is it
rated
also purple?
it is yellow.
It is yellow. Oh, can I guess this one?
It is okay.
Universal connectivity.
You are correct.
Yeah.
And the reason why I put this card above peak efficiency is because I rated this card
I
higher.
haven't looked at the list, I swear.
So how about you read universal connectivity fee?
Alright, universal connectivity fee is a piece of ice. It is type trap, which I love traps. But this one's in. It is cost 2, strength 2. The runner loses 1 credit unless the runner is tagged. If the runner is tagged, he or she loses all credits in his or her credit pool, and the Corp trashes universal connectivity fee. So, that's neat. I could see that in a NBN tax deck. I could see
I
that
can't.
probably, I could maybe see that in a Jiteki tax deck if you were trying to be little shenanigans. There's certainly better pieces of ice out there for 1 influence, 2 cost. It's like an expensive pop-up window.
That's why I can't see it in an NBN tax deck. However, in Tag and Bag, I definitely can.
Right, because you want the runner to remain tagged.
That's right.
I can see that.
So if you're running like a flurry of tags, so mid-seasons, things of
Mhm.
that nature, city surveillance,
Yep.
this card becomes pretty good. It most notably doesn't have one of the 3 main ice subtypes. So it can only be broken by
With
AI
AI.
ice. Yes, in a flurry of tags, I can really see this card being effective.
Yeah.
I don't, however, see a flurry of tags being better than Astrobiotics anytime soon. In the right deck, I think this card is good, verging on great. Because it can't be broken traditionally, and it can close your opponent's accounts.
Yeah. It has its place, but it's not something you're going to throw everywhere.
So, what color do you think the next card is?
Ooh. Let me. This is gonna be. It's gonna be a red card.
You are correct.
Yes. But it's cool. It's got like the greatest artwork in this pack.
I agree. The card we're talking about is Mamba.
Why don't you give it a little read?
Mamba is a 6 cost to res, Sentry, Psi, AP, Ice, with 4 strength. This has the paid ability, hosted power counter, do a net damage. Use this ability only during a run. 2 subroutines.
I love that except that I have to play a side game. Oh yeah, read the subroutines.
First subroutine, do 1 net damage. Second subroutine, Psi game for a power counter. This card is... Okay.
It's so close yet so far.
It's so close.
Yeah.
If it
It's
just...
almost the best piece of ice, but it's not quite.
Oh, I don't even think so. I think that even if it just did 2 net damage, or just had a net damage on a power counter...
Well, no, because...
it would still be worse than Tsurugi.
Right, and also the Neural Katana.
Neural Katana has just...
1 subroutine.
1 subroutine, strike 3, so...
3 subroutines, like 2 subroutines?
Yeah, 2 subroutines is a little more taxing. But, I mean, Tsurugi is 4 subroutines. This, if it's at least 2 subroutines, and it automatically got a power counter. Because this is going to cost you 7 to get your first power counter. Generally.
Yep.
The deck that this is going to get run in is PE.
Yeah, because you want... This is like... You don't have to worry about scoring.
That's right.
Your House of Knives.
Exactly.
So now I can have a House of Knives scored, couple Mambas rezzed, and some money, and you're not gonna run anything. I'm probably gonna play that. I don't love it, but I'm probably gonna try it out.
It's a high strength Sentry. It's worth trying.
Yeah, it's worth trying out just to see how it goes. Our next one is probably going to be. Oh,
it's exciting. I'm really tense. I don't know.
This is one I shuffled in.
Oh, yes, right, of course.
I'm thinking, okay, I think it's going to be Architect.
Oh, so close.
But I actually pulled out Hades Fragment.
You...
This is the one that's shuffling.
Hades Fragment,
So,
it is.
Yeah. This is a agenda type source. Another one of the fragments in our pieces that we're building.
Of source.
Something. Pieces of, it's source code. 5-3 agenda.
Another 5-3.
Source, when your turn begins, you may add 1 card from archives to the bottom of R&D. So this is, of course, the direct...
You missed a line.
What's that? Oh yes, limit 1 per deck.
Very important.
Very important. The idea is that this is the protagonist, because corporations are the best.
Of course.
To the runner's antagonist, Hades Shard. Now the Hades Shard is way better than this card. This is a card that you are probably going to play if you're running 5-3s in a low agenda
Perfect in a Glacier deck.
So a Glacier deck, you're going to run that.
So this, I feel, isn't a way of counteracting the evil Hades Shard.
That's true.
It's more just a way of letting Glacier decks grind longer.
Yes, I think that's an accurate way to look at it. It gives you a little bit of a help with the noise stuff that's going on right now.
A little bit.
And it's probably fine because, let's face it, Corps right now I think are a little bit stronger. So.
Oh, no question.
So I think, the
fact that it's not that powerful.
Yeah, the fact that it's not as powerful as the Shard is probably a good thing.
Card number 3.
Here is
Architect.
the coolest. No, it's not.
Designed by 2012 World Champion Jeremy Zwern. This is a 4 cost to res, 3 strength, Sentry Ice. Oh man, the spoilers that had this at 4 strength had to be so hard. Cannot be trashed while installed is the best piece of text I've read on a piece of ice in a long time. 2 subroutines. The Corp looks at the top 5 cards of R&D, may install one of those cards, ignoring all install costs. The Corp may install, second subroutine, a card from Archives or HQ, paying all costs.
Here's one kicker. Is that text's not valid unless the card is rezzed. So, if you forge activation order, you still have to trash that.
You can res it.
Well, right. If you say you could, so
If you don't have the money.
right? If you didn't have the money.
Okay, yes. So the
if you have 3
trash
credits.
text.
So the trash
Right,
text is only
of course.
valid if it is. So it's really just a parasite. What else can we trash ice with?
Parasite.
Really, that's pretty much it. I think that is absolutely it.
It is, however, one of the most important cards on the runner side of the metagame right now.
That's true. But I mean, the same thing would be. Oh no, okay. I would say it would be appropriate if with the ice lowered, but no, because now Data Sucker is still valid on this card.
For breaking purposes.
For breaking purposes.
Of course, yes.
So
And it can already be broken by Mimic.
that is correct. Yep.
Right, so it's just 2
Straight
credits
away.
to be broken by Mimic. That's
Yep.
fine. But it's very innocuous. It looks perfectly innocent. It doesn't do damage, it doesn't end the run, it doesn't destroy programs or resources or hardware. All it does is kind of give a little bit of card advantage.
I like the first one a lot. The first subroutine is fantastic.
The search 6 card
The
or top
Corp-
5 cards.
yes. So you know what the great thing about that one is? So you could do that on a Trixie deck.
Yeah.
You can install a trap in the server they're running in. So say you have an upgrade or an asset, so you
Okay.
can throw in a Will of the Wisp.
Oh, okay, yes.
Wait, is that an upgrade?
Will of the Wisp is an upgrade.
So yep, so you could throw in a Will of the Wisp,
Yeah.
or you could
A psychic field.
Psychic Fields. There's a lot of, or if you have an asset there, so your HP, so you get in fast advance if you got a Sand, so you could throw in a snare or a whole bunch of various traps if they're running on it already that's an upgrade in there.
Potentially even better though,
So
if you
an
have an agenda
overrider-
there and can't stop them, you can install over the agenda.
That is also true. You could totally trash the agenda while installing something else.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yep. You can definitely trash that. Okay, that now gets a bigger score. I didn't think of that before when I initially rated this card.
You like the first one better.
I like the first one
the
better.
second one
actually.
better.
The second one is the Corp may install a card from Archives or HQ paying all its cost. I guess I'm used to not having any money as a corporation since I'm playing
Why
Black
are
Tree.
you paying money?
Because, well, no, so the second one you gotta pay.
Pay costs.
Oh, install
Install
costs,
costs.
which is nothing. Okay.
I mean, if you're installing ice at the top of a tower, sure.
That is a good point. I keep thinking of that cost of
Eves or
You know.
Adonises, Sand City grids, just things that the runner has trashed earlier or you've used up. Just
That is
unuse
good.
up them.
That is good.
This card is
Usually the
astonishing.
stuff I'm so used to having stuff that the runner trashes that I want them to trash so they can go run the archives later
Sure.
and die.
Card number 2.
I bet you because everybody's been hyping about that one. So our next card is reverse accounts. Ah,
Blue Sun is card number 2 in this pack.
spoiler alert! You now know what the best card in the deck in the pack was
I mean, for us, at least.
for us. No, we're right.
How about you read Blue Sun, sir?
Blue Sun. This is the Corp that everybody's been waiting for, powering the future. And it's got a lovely picture of a giant, what can only be thought of as maybe a fission plant.
It's moon power.
Moon power, power of the moon. When your turn begins, you may add 1 res card to HQ, gain the credits equal to its res cost. Lovely flavor text on here, unlimited energy, reasonable prices.
Okay, so everybody is saying.
Good guy Wayland.
Everybody is saying that this is the identity that will make Wayland good again.
Wayland has always been good. They love people, and they've never been evil.
Oh,
And
good
they-
as opposed to evil, right. I was thinking good as opposed to mediocre.
I think they've been
Decidedly mediocre.
decidedly mediocre for quite some time.
Yeah.
I haven't played Wayland since Genesis.
That's the first book of the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. That's when God created the heaven and the earth. Blue Sun offers you the ability to synergize a lot of the cards that have come out recently. The Root, the Burger Grid.
Christian Grid?
Yeah, the
Yes.
Amazon Industrial
Amazon
Grid.
Industrial Zone.
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
The zone. Yeah,
Christian Grid.
the airstrip. The Crisium Grid. Off the
That's
grid.
it, Amazon Industrial Zone. Off the grid, Christian Grid.
So these
basically
things
all of the little upgrades
that are really fucking expensive, by
that
the
are
way.
rather pricey. But the thing is, how often are you gonna put those back in your hand once you get them out?
You're not. You're gonna be playing Oversight AI
Oversay that.
to res your curtain wall to get your 13 credits.
Yes.
Net 13 credits.
2 words. Eliza's Toy Box. And Eve campaigns.
Eve campaigns are too expensive. Eve campaigns are 3 influence apiece.
Yeah, no, that fit in there.
9 influence for Eve campaigns.
Yep.
Okay. So no Jackson Howards.
No, who needs Jackson Howard?
Yeah, that dude's so stupid. That dude's way overrated.
Yeah. People rely on Jackson Howard way too much.
Overrated.
If you're running Jackson Howard, stop it.
Yeah, especially in Wayland. There's plenty of card draw in Wayland. Trust me.
Guys, seriously.
They're like rich with cards.
True fact.
It's a little better than Grindel.
Yeah, it's
And probably still a little bit worse than building
and
a
it's another anti-noise card again because of the whole virus cube.
It's good against Parasite and Knight.
Yeah, all of the Kaesa recursion and Parasite recursion, all that stuff. It's good against that.
Card number 1.
The best card in this data pack,
I think no question.
without a doubt.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
without a doubt.
Reversed Accounts. This is the card that I love this
What
card.
was our total average on this card? I believe this was over a 6.
This was a 5.2.
5.2? Oh, okay.
Reversed Accounts.
Best card.
It is. There are just so many different tricks you can play with a card like this. I don't even know if it's an NBN card, really. It certainly can be used in NBN pretty effectively. It's a solid install, advance. Or no, just install, do nothing, then next turn, advance, click.
It's 3 to trash. So either way, you're taxing the runner.
That's right, yeah. So as long as you don't advance it when you install it, just install it as if it's a Jacko.
Yep.
And
Advance trash.
advance trash, and then they lose 8 credits for your 2.
Yep.
That's gonna end some games, really.
That's swimming, especially considering how rich some runners are right now.
Yeah, I mean, Andy is incredibly wealthy.
Yep.
Gabe has always been super rich, and
Yep.
Noise is shockingly wealthy right
Noise
now.
coming back pretty hard.
With the
especially-
cash Aesop's
Oh, yeah.
combo. Yeah, there are some rich runners right now.
Rich runners.
And Reversed Accounts, it doesn't make you play tricks the way Closed Accounts does.
You're right, but it can certainly be treated as a bit of a trick in that sense.
It's true, yeah.
It's another card Jinteki can install. It's another card that NEH can install.
Yes.
To gain their card draw and then punish the runner for not running.
I think this card isn't the flashiest card in the pack, of course. I mean, that's Blue Sun, maybe Inject on the runner side.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be
Yeah, I think it's really
definitely the best card in
the most
that pack.
brutal and efficient card in the pack, in my opinion. So I think that's going to do it for this one. We're going to talk about the runner cards in the next episode. Probably going to have a different background. Until next time, let us know in the comments how much you disagree with what we just said.
Yep, that's always good to hear. Like the video for, just because you like Netrunner. You don't have to like us, just like the video. Play this card. Don't play this card.
Yeah, Docklands Crackdown is not the same as Reversed Accounts. They both have click costs, but they're very different.
Yep, so I'm always right. He's always Matt.
Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Check us out on Facebook.
Yep.
Facebook.com/Northern Gaming Network. And you can follow us on Twitter at NorthGameNet.
Yep.
That's right. I'm just going to cut that bit where I wasn't sure. And join us next time when we talk about the runner cards, which are super less exciting.
And remember, Corps are way better. Runners are evil. Corps are good guys.
Corps are good guys. Good guy Wayland.
Good guy Wayland.
Good guy Wayland. High five for good guy Wayland.
Good guy Wayland.
What you call that a knife? This is a knife.
Yeah,
I'm a big
you
fan
are
of Run Last
notorious
Click.
for running last click.
I love running last
And
click.
that is how you lost every one of your running
Every
games.
time I look, I only ever lose when I run last click.
Yep. So, what were the British spellings again?
But I only ever run last click as a runner, and runners are awful anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
I never run last click as a corp, and I rarely lose.
I have made it a very strict policy not to run last click as a corporation. Never.
Ladies and gentlemen,
never.
Canadian Edie. I'm a hobbit.
Naturally high. I'm also taller.
He's an elf.
True story.
Frodo.
Legolas.
Ginger Legolas.
Ginger Legolas. That's right. It's like if I'm not gonna go there. Something to do with dwarf.
It's like if Legolas and Gimli had a bastard child.
That is what I was thinking of right there.
Okay.
I just didn't want to go there.
Run last click, play worst X.